The 2025 draft is among us, and in this video, I'm going to break down what the Atlanta Falcons draft plans are, and I'm going to do this in less than 5 minutes. Now, there's 3 big strategies going on for the Atlanta Falcons and 3 potential paths that I think the Atlanta Falcons can take today in the first round of the draft. They could get super aggressive. They can be somewhat not aggressive, but just mediocre and do what they're expected to do, or they can be pretty conservative, trade back and get a couple picks that will help them build depth to the roster. Now, in regards to the aggressive term, there's 2 names that have been thrown out for the Atlanta Falcons, and within this, the Atlanta Falcons would have to move up and be the aggressor in the first round of the draft, and that's Abdul Carter and Jalen Walker. Now, Abdul Carter, edge from Penn State, Jalen Walker, edge or linebacker from University of Georgia. In order to get these 2 players, the Atlanta Falcons will probably have to give up their 15th pick this year, but also multiple picks next year, as well as probably the second. Now, I'm hearing that Abdul Carter is something that the Atlanta Falcons were looking at, and the same with Jalen Walker. Now, I will say this. If Jalen Walker falls to like 10 or 11, I would anticipate the Atlanta Falcons to move up for sure to get that guy who they deem is the best player on their big board. Jalen Walker is the guy that they want, and if he falls to a 10 or 11, the Atlanta Falcons will probably give up that 15th pick and either 2 picks next year or that second round pick to come up and get Jalen Walker, someone who they have viewed and valued as their keystone player going forward. Now, second scenario, let's just say the Atlanta Falcons stay pat, be kind of mediocre, and pick where they're at pick number 15. There are 5 players that the Atlanta Falcons I think the Atlanta Falcons could choose within this pick, and these are the guys that I think are on their big board, and they are Amon Mimbu, tackle out of Missouri, Kelvin Banks, tackle out of Texas, Michael Williams, edge out of Georgia, James Pierce, edge out of Tennessee, and Mike Green, edge out of Marshall. I think if the Atlanta Falcons stay packed, they are going to pick one of those 5 guys with the 15th pick. Now, I'm hearing that the 2 tackles are higher on their draft board, and if one of those tackles are available, they'll probably select a tackle at the 15th pick, what a lot of fans don't want to hear, but I'm also hearing that they do have edge on the board as well, and if the 2 tackles are gone, which a lot of people anticipate they'll be gone, then they'll settle with either Michael Williams, James Pierce, or Mike Green. Now, I'm also hearing that the Atlanta Falcons have potentials to move back. The Houston Texans apparently need a tackle, and like I said, if there's 2 tackles on the board and the Atlanta Falcons either are going to choose one of those tackles or they may decide to trade back because they only have 5 picks this year and 2 of them are 7th round picks. So if the Atlanta Falcons end up trading back, let's maybe say 18 or to 20 or to 22, then I would see them taking one of these players. James Pierce, if he falls, like I said, he's in that mid to later first round, great value. But I also would bring in Malachi Starks. He's a guy that a lot of people are saying he could be there, and that's a player that the Atlanta Falcons have identified as one of their top players and a can't-miss prospect. I also will bring into both the Shamar Stewart train. Shamar Stewart is a very, very athletic edge out of Texas A&M who didn't have great production, but has great measurables and great, he basically had a phenomenal combine. And so this brings him into the mix if the Atlanta Falcons move back into that 22nd pick and basically say if they need an edge and Shamar Stewart's on the board, they're able to get him as well as get additional draft capital, maybe an additional 3rd or additional 4th this year, which will help them build out the roster. I'm also hearing Walter Nolan is a guy on their board, and if they end up moving back to maybe 20 to 30, they will maybe select Walter Nolan. Going forward, next round, I'm hearing there's going to be a lot of corners on the board. A corner may be an emphasis for the Atlanta Falcons to take. They may double down in the second round on an edge, or they may decide to go with a inside interior tackle to replace Grady Jarrett. All this to say, the Atlanta Falcons, I would anticipate either go offensive tackle or edge in the first round. If they move up, expect them to get Jalen Walker or Abdul Carter. If they move back, I expect them to either select Shamar Stewart or Walter Nolan. And then from there, the Atlanta Falcons will have to basically figure out a way to move up later in the draft to acquire more talent. But that's my synopsis under 5 minutes. If you agree or disagree with what I just said, leave a comment down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, check this one out right here. And like always, peace. Also, there will be more draft analysis coming. There will be several videos and several content within the next few days. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, and please be on the lookout for more draft content. But like I said, peace.